It's time for the Coach's Corner Show, brought to you by Beggar's Pizza. Now here's your host, Pat Disabato.
Hello, welcome to the Coach's Corner Show, brought to you by Beggar's Pizza. I'm your host, Pat Disabato, from the Southtown Star newspaper, and we are at Homewood-Flossmoor High School, located at 185th and Kedzie Avenue in lovely Flossmoor. Our guest this week, Homewood-Flossmoor football coach Craig Bazia. The Buzzman got things going on at Homewood-Flossmoor. 2 years. Last year, they were 10-3, advanced to the Class A 8A semifinals. This year, finished 8-4, advanced to the Class 8A quarterfinals. They lost Friday night to Naperville Central, but still a tremendous season by the Vikings. So we're going to talk to the Buzzman about all things Homewood-Flossmoor football, and it should be a great, great show, folks. So we're going to go to a Beggar's Pizza timeout. Remember, Beggar's Pizza lunch buffet. Get out there and just eat so you can't eat anymore for $7.95, folks. Doesn't get any better than that. All right, we are going to go to a Beggar's Pizza timeout. We return. Coach Craig Bazia, Homewood-Flossmoor High School, will be our guest. Stay tuned.
For over 30 years, Beggar's Pizza has been delivering you great pizza your whole family will love. But don't forget, it's not only our award-winning thin, stuffed, and deep dish pizza. We have great pasta, salads, desserts, sandwiches, and more. Our meals are prepared with the finest ingredients available, making sure you go home happy every time. Whether it's your team's victory bash, a birthday party, or just a nice night out of the kitchen, enjoy a great Beggar's Pizza at home or dine in at one of our many Chicagoland locations.
Moraine Valley has a proud tradition of providing academic excellence and student success. A well-rounded college experience at Moraine Valley includes clubs, organizations, athletics, fitness center, and more.
With the coaching staff and the facilities they offer, it's been really great.
I definitely believe Moraine Valley is a good choice for someone who is looking for an associate's degree.
Moraine Valley Community College, changing lives for a changing world.
Having surgery or dealing with some type of nagging pain that limits your function? Then get to athletics. We offer treatment for all types of orthopedic injuries, work-related injuries, and sports injuries. Therapists with over 20 years of experience provide treatment that is efficient and effective. Our 2,000 square foot clinics offer state-of-the-art equipment from HydroTrack, Blankenship, and Biodex. If your doctor suggests physical therapy, then you suggest athletics, where every patient is treated like a champion.
All right, welcome back to the Coach's Corner Show, brought to you by Beggar's Pizza. All right, folks, we're at Homewood-Flossmoor High School, and our guest this week, good friend of ours, Craig Bazia, Homewood-Flossmoor football. How's it going, Buzz?
Great. Thanks for having us, Pat.
Thanks for coming on board again. All right, Buzz, great season. Finished 8-4. Lost to Naperville Central Friday in the semis after advancing to in the quarters. Last year you advanced to the semis. What disappointed you most about Friday night's game?
I think the fact that we just didn't give ourselves a chance to win. I think we went in there with a game plan of getting ahead early and making them play from behind, making them one-dimensional, and lo and behold, we win the toss and defer, and I think we put our defense on the field and hopefully get a good stop, and they run the opening kickoff back, and that was a little disheartening, but we went right back and scored 80 yards and looked like everything was okay, and then the turnover bug hit, and when we got behind like that, it was like we couldn't catch our breath, and I think our kids kept fighting, but it was one of those days that we didn't play our best football on the wrong day, and there's nothing to take away from Naperville Central because I think they're a very solid club, but just don't think we gave ourselves a great opportunity to win the football game.
Yeah, and I was at that game, a 42-14 final, and folks, I'm telling you, based on talent and the breaks you guys didn't get, I think if you guys play each other 10 times, you're going to win 5 of those games.
Yeah,
minimal.
It's one of those things. You don't get redoozies, and it's one of those things that you got to play when it's given to you, and we feel like we'd love to have it back, but it's not going to happen. And we won a couple games real close last year in the playoffs, and just couldn't get it turned around this year in the quarters. But real proud of our team. So
when you look back on this season, Buzz, what's the highlight for you?
Well, I think to be honest with you, the whole season is a highlight. We came into the season. I know there was a lot of speculation about us being pretty good, and we had some skill kids coming back, but we had to replace. We basically went into the season with two returning starters on defense and a whole new offensive line other than Jake Thompson. We lost 52 seniors,
Yep.
you know, which is quite a bit. 16 of those going to play college football. So,
Yep.
you know, when all you guys were telling us how good we're going to be, I'm scratching my head. So these guys just don't know, you know. But our kids came together and lost a couple early on, and then really lost that one to Sandburg that we just didn't feel like we played up to our standards, and then knew we were going to get a tough draw.
Yep.
And came out and played Marist, and I see some of you guys in your paper picking them to win the state championship, and we got a little program at our school, and watching who comes on the screen, and Marist comes on, and our kids are hooping and hollering, and I'm going, these guys have no idea who Marist are. They have no idea. These guys have scored 60 points and 50 points, and we rallied the troops and came out and played lights out against Marist, who I thought was outstanding, and came back and beat Lockport. So I think just from the standpoint that last year, I think some people thought maybe we might have been a flash in the pan, and this year when teams had a whole off season to prepare for us, and we almost duplicate exactly what we did the year before with almost an entirely different crew. To me, that's the highlight. And last year we had a great season. This year I think we put to the point where we're starting to put a program together.
So you would say this team, if anything, you think it overachieved at all, or what when you look back?
I think if you say you overachieve, you underestimate it. That's the way I look at it. So our standards are our standards, and we want to achieve highly. But it certainly wasn't a team that we had last year. When you talk about the talent and all the plays, we had to fulfill a Michael Rouse, who's at Purdue, and Aiden Kylan, who's at Northern, the HS leading ball carrier Malik Norman, and then you name Denzel Wilkins. So you name all these guys that we had to replace, and sometimes it's not who you're bringing back; it's the voids that you have to fill in.
Yep. And
we had guys that never played a down on defense ever in HF, and they started for us for 12 games, did an outstanding job, and obviously we had to retool a whole offensive line. So. I think, to put it bluntly, I think we maxed out. We felt like we could have won the quarter game, but we didn't give ourselves a chance. But I think this group probably maxed out as much as any group I've ever had.
Okay. Now, Buzz, despite your ruggedly handsome good looks, you've been around the block a few times. You know what I mean? You've been around a little while.
Hard to
buddy.
imagine, huh?
You know that?
Right.
So, at this stage of your career, when you look back and reflect upon a season, whether it's a particular game, a play, anything you devised during a game plan, do you still learn lessons here? Or is there still lessons to be learned for you?
Oh, I don't think there's any doubt. I think every game, I'm always going back and after every game and writing notes for the next year and things that we could have did better and how we could have practiced better and things like that. I think it's an entire learning process, and I think if you're in this game long enough, you'll understand that, and you try to get those lessons and you try to make them evolve into some success next year. So we've made some notes, and we think we can do some things a lot better than what we did this year, and I think that's the only way you continue to get better and better as you go on.
Well, I know, from last year, talking to you last year going into the offseason, I mean, you really, going into the season, you were on the fly. You really didn't get a lot of things implemented that you wanted to. So going into the offseason, you had some things you wanted to, smooth out the edges a little bit. Now going into this offseason, what's the difference for you, Buzz? What's the feeling for you as you go into this offseason compared to last year?
Well, I think just kids know our expectations a little bit more. I think I was talking to you before the show. There's still things, I think people, when they see success that you have, they think that your program's where it needs to be, but we're not nearly where we want to be. I think kids understand the expectations even a little bit more, and I think they understand what the standards are and what we're going to expect, but we're still not exactly where we need to be, and I think the more you get into this, the kids are going to understand where we need to be. Now we're having sophomores that have been through the program for their third year coming up, and I think we'll continue to get through them exactly what our expectations are.
Yep. Okay, folks, we're going to go to Lisa Thomas Salon timeout. Folks, jump on lisathomassalon.com. All kinds of specials we have for the Teen Club members as well. So we come back, more with Coach Bazia. Stay tuned.
What teen doesn't want to be in style with the latest trends? What teen doesn't want the hottest cuts at an affordable price? It's time to get noticed with the Lisa Thomas Salon Teen Club, where girls get a cut and style for just $27 and guys get a cut and style for just $17. Get the right look for the right price at the Lisa Thomas Salon Teen Club. Your style, perfect style. Only at Lisa Thomas Salon.
For over 60 years, Standard Bank has been a part of your neighborhood, supporting sports and other activities, working with communities as they grow and thrive, helping businesses and families to reach their financial goals. In communities all over Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana, your neighborhood is our neighborhood. We can help you reach your financial goals. To learn about products like Check Free, our super secure service that saves you time and money and makes it easy to pay your bills online, visit standardbanks.com. Member FDIC.
Pops opened in 1980. Although we've come a long way, 30 years later, Pops continues to cater to the South Chicagoland area. Each of our owners are dedicated to serving the best, freshest product possible. Our beef is cooked and sliced fresh daily. Not only known for our beef, but other great items, sausage, chicken sandwiches, hot dogs, and gyros. Featuring our newest food item, the breaded steak sandwich. Let us cater your next party. Please visit our website for a Pops location nearest you.
All right, welcome back to the Coach's Corner Show, brought to you by Beggar's Pizza. If you're just joining us, folks, our guest, Homewood-Flossmoor football coach Craig Bazia. All right, Buzzman, I always like to hear the number of players you have on your roster. Last year you were in the 90s. This year...
Yeah, we're about 81 right now.
About 81 you had, huh?
We were up in the 90s, and attrition came into play, but we're at 81. Like I was telling you, Naperville Central was one of the few that outdrew us. I think they had 99 dressed on Friday.
Yeah, and when you mentioned in the first segment that you lost 52 seniors last year, I'm like, 52 seniors, there's a majority of our teams don't have 52 kids on the roster, so that's saying something. All right, Buzz, you're losing a lot of kids off this particular team, especially at the skill positions. You mentioned Tim Williams at quarterback. You got your running backs, Anthony Roberts and Sheldon Jones, wide receiver Sean Jones, Gerald Butler, Willie Ross. So with all those skill position players they're going to graduate, can you pick up the pieces, and what are the expectations for next year?
Well, the expectations are going to be the same. I think if we set our standard, it's just a matter of how we go about doing it. Last year we had a 2,500-yard rusher in Malik Norman. This year we had a 2,500-yard passer, is what we did last year with Tim Williams. I correct you one thing, Willie Ross is coming back. He'll be back next year, so he'll obviously be one of our skill kids. But if the program's like you want it to be, it's just going to continue to reload. And we've had some success at the lower levels, and we hope that we can continue to do that. And obviously, it doesn't always transfer over to a varsity success, but we feel like they've been running our system for 2 years now, and we hope that those guys can just step in and pull up the pieces. But there's no question we're losing a lot of our skill kids.
Yep. Now Tim Williams, 2,500 yards passing, just about. Even as good a quarterback he is, and as good a basketball player he is, tremendous human being. He's just a great, great kid. So what do you do next year? I've heard of this Culpepper kid. He's the man. What's the plan? For next season?
Well, obviously Jordan is a very talented kid. He'll be a sophomore. He's a sophomore now. He'll be a junior next year. Had a couple of years in our system. He's a totally different quarterback than what Tim is, and as I was talking to you before the show, we have our system in place. It's just a matter of what we're going to emphasize. So we may be an entirely different looking team. It's not like we're going to change our offense or change our defense, because that's in place. But this might be a little bit different looking, and we feel like if Jordan's our guy, we feel like he can do the job, and we'll see what happens. But it's just a matter of what we emphasize, and that will be what we see in the offseason.
Yep. Well, I know the sophomore and freshman teams, a lot of buzz surrounding these guys. Pun intended, buzz.
Yeah.
Sophomores were 7-2 this year. I think they were 9-0 as freshmen last year. The freshmen this year were 8-1. Only team they lost to was Brother Rice with a tremendous freshman class. So, what do you think, man? What are your expectations for these classes?
Well, it's good. It's better than having 1 and 8 teams coming up, But it's just a matter of how many guys you can keep along, how many guys are going to go along with your expectations and the standards that are set. I'm excited about them. Yep. I think in next year, we'll bring an offensive line that will be. I'm not going to say it's better, but it's definitely going to be a bigger offensive line than we've had in the past. With a couple 310, 315-pound kids coming in there, and so like I said, it might be a little different, but our expectations stay the same. I'm real excited about. I'm sad to see these guys go, because these guys have done everything. They've won 18 games in 2 years for us, and that hasn't happened, I think, since 1994. So they've done great things, but one class goes, you'll welcome a couple other classes. So I'm excited to see what these next 2 classes can do.
This class has put HF football back on a map. tremendous senior class. You coached in Indiana for a long time, Buzz, at Portage and Michigan City high schools. Their playoff system in Indiana is far different than the one here in Illinois. They allow every team to make the playoffs. I think they have an eight-game regular season. So if you're 0-8, you're in the playoffs. If you're 1-7, you're in the playoffs. Unlike here, you need to be 5-4 or 6-3. Which system do you prefer? Since you've had this system for 2 years, what do you think?
Well, I think one of the reasons that intrigued me to come to Illinois was their playoff system. I was on the board of the coaches there in Indiana, and we tried to get it changed for years as far as getting at least seating done and maybe people earning their way. I love the Illinois system. I hear people talk about there's some bugs to be worked out, but I think the regular season is worth something. Yep. In Indiana, it's worth nothing. I mean, exactly. and I really like that aspect of it, and then that translates into definitely more intense football during the regular season. I mean, in Indiana, if you're losing, you can always say, hey, we got a chance, we'll get them back in the playoffs. If we see them here, you may not get into the playoffs. So every game means something. I really love the system. I like the idea of the seeding, it's the way I think it should be done. So okay. I think Illinois is definitely a better situation.
I couldn't agree with you more. The past 2 seasons, Buzz, how's it affected your ability to get the top talent from the Junior Vikings youth football program, who, prior to your arrival, I know you had to mend some fences when you came here. That was your first order of business. How's that been going? And does it seem like you got the pipeline coming?
Well, I certainly hope so. I mean, our offices are always open. We've had several meetings with those coaches in the off season. I think we clinic them on 5 different Sundays about our offense and our defense, and we see a lot of their kids at our games, and we have an HF night and all that type of stuff. So we think that is helping us, and I think the biggest thing that we can do is be successful. Yep. I think if people know that you can't beat the school, I don't care where anybody wants to go academically, I don't think you can beat the school. So if your athletic program is in place, why not? Right. And that's the way we're looking at it. So it'd be hard. I think we're the only one of 2 schools in 8A to get back into the Elite 8 this year. We were playing football when a lot of other teams weren't that maybe were in the past. So you can't argue with our success, and we feel like we've got a exciting brand of football. I think we're the highest scoring team in 8A this year, and we would like to keep that up. So if you're looking for a great academic institution and one with an athletic, hopefully starting another tradition, we think definitely this would be the place to go.
Absolutely, and the facility's second to none, man.
Right.
You guys got tremendous facilities in all sports. So I agree with you, Buzz. Well, I appreciate you taking the time. I know you got the banquet tonight, right?
We got the banquet tonight at 7 o'clock, and head over there and give out some awards and try to culminate a real happy season. Real proud of our guys, and we appreciate you coming over and taking the time and talking with us.
All right, Buzz. I appreciate your time, buddy.
My pleasure.
Good to see you again. Folks, get out those cell phones. We got the Isaac Text Poll Question of the Week, sponsored by Standard Bank. Chance to win $50. Holidays are right around the corner. You can use 50. All right, we'll be back.
Having surgery or dealing with some type of nagging pain that limits your function? Then get to Athletics. We offer treatment for all types of orthopedic injuries, work-related injuries, and sports injuries. Therapists with over 20 years of experience provide treatment that is efficient and effective. Our 2,000 square foot clinics offer state-of-the-art equipment from HydroTrack, Blankenship, and Biodex. If your doctor suggests physical therapy, then you suggest Athletics, where every patient is treated like a champion.
Looking for a lunch you won't soon forget? Check out the new Beggar's Lunch Buffet. Of course you'll find the great thin crust, stuffed crust, and deep dish Beggar's pizza you love, but our buffet goes even further. We have soups, salads, Italian beef, Italian sausage, pasta, and chicken. And don't forget about Beggar's famous cookie pizza for dessert. For only $7.95, it's an incredible deal. From 11 until 2, Monday through Friday, this is a can't-miss lunch that has something for everyone. So get to a Beggar's near you today.
All right, welcome back to the Coach's Corner Show, brought to you by Beggar's Pizza. I'd like to thank Homewood-Flossmoor football coach Craig Bazia for being our guest. Buzzman, one of the great coaches in the area. So happy to have him on again. All right, folks, we are going to go to the Isaac text poll question of the week, sponsored by Standard Bank. Chance to win $50. All right, folks, here's this question. Which football team will allow the least amount of points this weekend? All right, text A for St. Rita. Text B for Lamont, text C for Mount Carmel, text D for Brother Rice. You guys are probably thinking, what are you talking about? Mount Carmel and Brother Rice were eliminated. No, when they get eliminated in the Catholic League, they shuffle off to the Prep Bowl. So Rice and Carmel are playing Friday night for the Catholic League Championship. Winner goes and plays the Public League champion for the rights to the Prep Bowl. Now, text Beto and the answer option to 90210. Okay, folks, lately I've been seeing this. You guys are texting Beto, but you're not. After Beto, B-A-T-O, hit the A or the B or the C or the D option. That way I know what your answer is going to be. But I've seen a few people really struggling with it recently. So, all right, texter number 3 with the correct response will win a $50 gift card from Standard Bank. Perfect for the holidays. All right, folks, an extra $50 for you. Okay. Go to coachescornershow.com for the answer options if you want to see them again. All right. Results from last week, Class 8A, Naperville Central 42, HF 14. For HF, Timmy Williams, 18 of 30, 239 yards. He also had 8 carries for 64 yards and a TD. Anthony Roberts, 14 carries, 46 yards and a TD for the Vikings, who completed an outstanding season. In 7A, St. Rita coming through, beating O'Fallon down in O'Fallon, 19-14 for St. Rita. Scotty Thomas, 11 of 21, 113 yards and 2 TD passes. Kenny Galladay caught both of those TD passes. Tim Lombard, 24 carries, 74 yards, and a touchdown. They host Wheaton Warrenville South Saturday night at St. Rita. 6 p.m. kickoff. Get there early, folks. 6A, Lamont 29, Hubbard nothing. For Lamont, Mike Anzalone, 31 carries, 129 yards, and a TD. Damon Ailman had a 3-yard TD pass, and Tyler J. had a 9-yard TD reception for the Indians, who recorded their 6th shutout of the season. That's getting it done, man. They're undefeated, 12-0 right now, Lamont. They will travel to Peoria Richwood Saturday, 2 p.m. kickoff. All right, go down to Peoria, go to the riverboats prior to the game, after the game, go to Big Al's, have a sandwich. And in 4A, Richmond Burton 7, Evergreen Park nothing. Great effort by Evergreen Park, man. I mean, Richmond Burton's the number 1 seed. Evergreen Park was a 13th seed, and touchdown was the difference in this ballgame. For Evergreen Park, Brandon White, 6 of 13, 74 yards. He also had 5 carries for 39 yards. On the night, Evergreen Park rushed for 42 yards total. And that's saying something. With Victor Baker and Jared Jackson in the backfield, those two combined for 3 yards. But good news is Brandon White's back for Evergreen Park next year at quarterback. In the Catholic playoffs, which we mentioned, Brother Rice 37, Fenwick nothing for Rice. Martez Walker 16 carries, 103 yards and 2 TDs. Andrew Walker 15 carries, 92 yards and a TD. Mount Carmel 63, Hale 6 for Carmel. Brandon Greer 6 carries, 106 yards, 3 scores. Draco Smith 13-yard TD run. Frank Kelly had TD receptions covering 22 and 28 yards for the Caravan, and Michael Domer had an 8-yard TD run. All right, let's go to the players of the week. The Labriola Bakery Cafe Golden Baguette Player of the Week. We're going to give it to St. Rita quarterback Scott Thomas. He completed 11 of 21 passes for 113 yards and 2 touchdowns. Nothing astronomical in terms of the numbers, but let me tell you, without that performance, without those touchdown passes, St. Rita is not advancing to the semifinals. So we're going to hook him up with a $25 gift card from Labriola Bakery Cafe in Oak Brook. The Lisa Thomas Salon Teen Club Player of the Week, Chicago Christian Volleyball player Maggie Camp. She had 8 kills, 14 digs in the Class 2A State Championship loss to Quincy Notre Dame. But hey, congratulations to Chicago Christian, Marist, and Marion Catholic. None of them got it done in 2A, 3A, and 4A, but at least they advanced to the state champions. So congrats to them. All right, folks, we are going to go to a Labriola Bakery Cafe timeout. When we return, high and tight. Stay tuned.
Looking for a unique dining experience with incredible food? Then check out Labriola Bakery Cafe. Opened by Rich Labriola, Chicago's premier artisan baker, you know they'll have great bread, but you won't believe the rest of their menu. wood-fired Neapolitan pizzas, fresh pasta, and their world-famous Richie Burger. There's also homemade gelato and, of course, their famous bread. Labriola Bakery Cafe and Neapolitan Pizzeria, conveniently located in the Oak Brook Promenade.
What teen doesn't want to be in style with the latest trends? What teen doesn't want the hottest cuts at an affordable price? It's time to get noticed with the Lisa Thomas Salon Teen Club, where girls get a cut and style for just $27 and guys get a cut and style for just $17. Get the right look for the right price at the Lisa Thomas Salon Teen Club. Your style, perfect style. Only at Lisa Thomas Salon.
Since 1970, Standard Bank & Trust has been a landmark at the corner of 95th and Western. Now there's a new, state-of-the-art Standard Bank at the same convenient location and better equipped to serve your needs. So stop by and meet our friendly, professional staff. They provide personalized service and a wide range of products to help both businesses and individuals reach their financial goals. In the Evergreen Park area and in communities all over Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana, we're your neighborhood bank. Learn more at standardbanks.com. Member FDIC.
Hi, welcome back to the Coach's Corner Show, brought to you by Beggar's Pizza. All right, folks, high and tight. Before we get to high and tight, my boy Gerard Grabowski, my cameraman over here, a little disappointed because he's not going to get any Beggar's Pizza tonight. He's going to have to fork over some cash, and he's going to have to pay for din-din tonight. All right, high and tight, folks. You know, Craig Bazia is example number one about if you get the right guy as a head coach, and I don't care about football, baseball, badminton, whatever, how success will follow. I mean, this was a football program that was languishing. It had some tough years prior to his arrival 2 years ago. Now look at this program. I mean, state semifinals last year, state quarterfinals this year, 90 kids on the roster last year, 80-something this year. Freshmen are successful, sophomores are successful. Schools, I mean, kids want to come to this school and play football. And that's how it should be when you have a community like Homewood and Flossmoor. I mean, you're talking some success here, some great kids at the Junior Vikings youth program. I mean, and now these top kids, they're choosing Homewood-Flossmoor. Talking great academics and now a great football program. So when people tell me, oh, you know, it's high school sports, a coach doesn't mean that much, I'm going to tell you, Craig Bazia, this guy's getting it done over here. That's the importance of having the right guy in a position. I mean, they have that much of an impact, that much influence on turning a program around. He's done it in 2 years, folks. So, and believe me, this success they're having, it will be sustained for years and years and years. You can take that to the bank. All right, folks, hope you enjoyed the show. Get out to one of the local games this weekend, and we'll be back next week. Have a great week.